What's up, everybody? Andrew Mahone here with Tricky Jim at Full Grip Games. Going to be showing off Zach Lesage's Hitmonchan deck today. A cool new deck in expanded format. Utilizes the new Hitmonchan from Team Up in the hit and run attack, which for one fighting energy does 30 damage and allows you to switch this Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon, which is more than likely going to be Wobbuffet. To use that Bide Barricade ability while it's in the active position, all abilities are turned off except for Psychic Pokemon's abilities, which is super cool. Nice little hit and run strategy here, kind of reminiscent of Donphan, except Hitmonchan is a basic Pokemon, so the strategy is very easy to pull off. You can use Korrina to search your deck for more Hitmonchans and item cards to help you get things that you need throughout the course of the game, and that little 30 damage bump does really add up throughout the course of the game, especially if you can force your opponent to miss attacks with that Bide Barricade ability. So a very cool deck here. Shout out to Zach for showing us his list. I believe he used it to get second at a League Cup recently, and a lot of people have been talking about it, so I think that the deck is fun. I am concerned maybe that the power level overall of the deck is very low. It's definitely a meta call. If you're expecting there to be a lot of fighting weak decks, maybe like Pikarom or of course Zoroark, then Hitmonchan can be very good. However, it can also struggle to take out bigger threats that it does not hit for weakness, especially if the Diancie gets knocked out, because the Diancie is really what keeps this deck being relevant, being able to not just hit for base 30, but hitting for base 50. Now we're talking, right? But when you do limit the Hitmonchan deck to a base 30 every turn, it can be a little troublesome. We are not going first, so I am just going to start off with the Wobbuffet in the active, probably Hitmonchan on the bench, and that's fine. I do have the Marshadow's Let Loose in order to draw cards myself, and apparently so does my opponent. However, they started theirs, which is probably not what they wanted, and sure enough, okay, we're getting Let Loosed ourselves. I probably should have benched my other Hitmonchan. I don't really know what I was waiting for, but you never know. So that's fine. We just have one Hitmonchan on the bench. Better than no Hitmonchans on the bench. And to be honest, this hand is looking pretty good. 2 Float Stones, Kukui. I'm fine with that. And then we have our own Let Loose as well that we can use to hopefully find ourselves a fighting energy or a strong. My opponent's going to switch and then Lily for more cards. Double switch, golden switches as well, and then a big Lily for 7 on the first turn of the game. Interested to see what deck we're playing against. I think it's a lightning deck, and it is Pikarom. All right, so a great matchup. This is an interesting build that I'm seeing here with a bunch of let loose cards, max elixirs, definitely a turbo engine of sorts. I've seen a lot of Shaman EXs in Pikarom decks, but Marshadow is also a great card in this list for sure. And my opponent's starting Marshadow is actually fantastic because they are going to be able to wall me off. Marshadow resists fighting, so not a great starter for me. Not a great starter for me to hit. I would much rather hit into a Pikarom turn 1 here. So we will just go get the Diancie, and then I think I don't want to play the Kukui because, to be honest, I would rather just find a more powerful draw card off of this Let Loose. So I'm going to attempt to do that here, shuffle us both the 4 cards, and we'll see what I can get. And sure enough, it's nothing. Okay, we've got 2 Versus Seekers, and that is all. So I will use my Energy Lotto and miss it. And this could just be a quick loss, unfortunately. I think that there's not a lot of ways for me to play out of this. I just need to wait and see. And this is one of my glaring concerns about the deck, is that it just doesn't have a great built-in draw engine. You really are just kind of playing supporters, hoping that the Wobbuffet disrupts your opponent enough, but a lot of times it doesn't. If they find a Guzma anytime soon, I'm going to be in a world of pain. Even just 1 energy at this point, and they will be retreating. So I am going to retreat into my other one so that I can maybe keep my Float Stone, assuming that my opponent can find a lightning energy to retreat this Marshadow. And sure enough, that is the case. So we are looking like we're running into a full blitz here. And at this point, Wobbuffet does nothing. I need to be hitting this Pikarom for maximum amounts of damage. They're going for a tag bolt this next turn, and I cannot stop them from doing so. They're going to play right around my sledgehammer turn as well, so even if I was to get anything going, it would not be good. I think I need to just retreat into this Marshadow, to be honest, and then I'll pass there. I would rather lose either the Diancie or the Wobbuffet. I don't want to lose both, so that is why I am retreating. But all in all, this is the power level of expanded format, right? Turn 1, let loose, draw 10 cards with turn 1 Lily on the first turn of the game. Totally insane. I mean, yeah, you fill to 8, but with the let loose, I mean, you're seeing like that many cards on the first turn of the game. And sure enough, you know, we just don't really have the juice to be able to deal with it. My opponent did actually just play that horribly. They definitely should have tag bolted last turn, so I am going to take 3 prizes here. They should not have in a million years done that. They had the tag bolt on board, and I bet they just feel super silly right now. And sure enough, all that draw, and I still don't have a supporter in my hand, which is hilarious. And they are nowhere near a tag bolt themselves. They do have the flash energy here, though, which is an absolute riot. But this Buzzwole is going down with a vengeance right now. My opponent just unloading their whole hand. They have got, the electro powers, everything. They're like, dude, that is not cool. Taking that Buzzwole right out of the game. Okay, so now we need to find a supporter. I mean, for real. Could I please just play one? Okay, I'll take that. It's not a good supporter, but ending myself to 3 is really the only option I have. I'll put the Sudowoodo down just so that I don't know, have less chance of drawing it off the end, and we'll shuffle ourselves to 3 cards, which is not good. But sure enough, I will take this. We get to poke this thing for 30 damage. That's fine. I mean, the game is about to end like very quickly, but I do think that I need to hit and run, and we're going to hit and run into my Sudowoodo, I believe, because I really don't want to lose my Wobbuffet. I would rather them hit into the Sudowoodo, go down to 2 prizes. Then I can Korrina. And I guess I could Korrina for a Counter Catcher and another fighting Pokemon. It's just not really enough. Korrina for Versus Seeker here feels really bad. Only doing 50 damage with the Hitmonchan is really bad. I think that I need to Magnum Punch, I guess, this next turn. And also Korrina for another Pokemon. And potentially a Versus Seeker, like that probably is correct, so that I can N again. But at this point, I think probably the Hoopa wall would just be ideal, right? I would definitely want a Hoopa wall here so that I could wall my opponent off from just winning the game. I could end them low, end them to 2, something like that. And sure enough, my opponent is starting to get closer to that Tag Bolt GX that will just win them the game. So, not great. I've got double Korrina. You know, chat, we did our best, but I will bring up probably a Counter Catcher. I think I'm just going for Counter Catcher here. We got to kind of do that and hope that it just works out. Yeah, we'll get these. Okay. I think we need to Counter Catcher up the other Pikarom. Hope they don't have a Guzma in that hand. If they don't have a Guzma in that hand, I don't know. We could do some things. Could probably see it. Sure, we're going to bring up that fella and then just retreat. I'm doing 70, 90. I mean, we're very close to knocking this dude out. Either way, if I'd gotten Enhanced Hammer and removed that, it's like we're still close, but not quite there. So just feels bad. Yeah, we'll keep the Hitmonchan in my hand just in case that I end up drawing into something. And I think we just hit and run here and hope that my opponent does not have a way to get this out of the active position. We did see that they blew a couple copies of Switch there on the first turn of the game, so they might not even be playing a Zeraora GX. They might just be relying on hard copies of Switch. So if they did blow too many switches on that first turn, they might not have access to it. But it does look like they play Trainer's Mail on their list, and I've only seen one. So they probably have, yeah, sure enough, there's Guzma. That's horrible. So we need to figure something out here to take this final prize. I guess maybe counter catching up that Pikarom, probably not. Maybe it wasn't the best play now that I'm looking at it, because I guess if I had just done 50 to the active, or even like just 100 to the active, if I had gotten like Enhanced Hammer and hit it for 100 again, then I would just need to hit this thing one more time to finish it off. And I mean, my opponent could just get the tag bolt here and just end it, but they didn't. They don't have it. So I'm like close, but I think I'm just not quite there. Double Korrina in my hand. It's just really not enough draw power here to end this game. Got Parallel, that's not going to help. Korrina is not going to help. I can't even get an energy really with Korrina. I can get the comp search for an energy, but that's not going to do it either. So that is going to be game, unfortunately. I think that I actually had a route to win that game if I had just, instead of going for the counter catcher, had just gone for the Enhanced Hammer, hit the flash energy, and go from there. Then I could have maybe, I actually am still one card short because I wouldn't be able to even comp search for an energy to be able to do this, because I'd have to comp search away my Hitmonchan. So you have a good deck. All right, I'm out. You got it, sir. So the Hitmonchan deck failing to beat Pikarom. That is a feel bad for sure. Though I will say that most of the time I've been able to beat Pikarom with this deck. Pikarom just such a powerful deck that even a deck that's teched just to beat it is still not going to beat it 100% of the time. We're going to roll again though and see if we can't get another good game. That was a rocky start for us for sure with all those Versus Seekers, but we almost got there with our one rogue sledgehammer taking half of the game's prizes because my opponent decided not to tag bolt around the sledgehammer turn. I think that was a crucial error, and if they had just tag bolted there, that game would not have even been close. It would have been a total and utter blowout. But alas, that is the dealio. All right, we lost the coin flip, so we are not going first. That's okay. We'll see what my opponent is working with over here in their Naganadel sleeves and that Alakazam deck box. Unfortunately, we did not get a basic, so we're going to be mulliganing this hand up and drawing a new one as soon as my opponent selects a basic. Sweet. New hand, please. And we're looking for a Wob. That's good. But again, just a dud hand. We've got nothing going on here. Not even any Pokemon search. That is horrible. So, yikes. You know, I am like super low on Versus Seeker as a card. I know it's a good card. It's obviously a very, very good card. But I feel like more and more the decks that I've been building lately are just not running Versus Seeker because of the necessity to start a live hand. You just need to start a live hand in expanded format. Expanded format is a format that can end quite literally in 3 turns, right? With Pikarom, games can end in 3 turns. So if you start a hand with Versus Seeker instead of a regular supporter, you probably just lost, right? If you're sitting there just waiting for an actual supporter. We saw last game we lost. Definitely one of the main reasons being that we just didn't have a draw card in that opening hand. And sure enough, we're seeing it again happen here. And I don't do a lot of like, you know, selecting in my videos, make sure you guys get to see a good game. Sometimes I try my best to make sure that you guys see a good game, but I'm also just going to show you the real, you know. This is exactly how we're drawing over here 2 games in a row with the Hitmonchan deck. I will say that I've played some games with it on stream, which hopefully some of you guys have been able to catch my streams on Twitch. It's been a lot of fun. I played some games with this on stream, and they were pretty flames, right? And we're playing against another Pikarom deck, and sure enough, we got nothing, dude. Just nothing. It's insane. All right, I'll actually even just attach my DCE so that I could retreat this thing if the opportunity came up, I think. But this is just abysmal. We're going to have to roll another one. Losing to 2 Pikarom decks, and that's what I'm saying, dude. Imagine, like, I couldn't imagine playing this at regionals and just Oh, this would be so bad. Oh, but I will say that it does have some good matchups. Usually, I say usually against Pikarom, but sure enough, you know, I'm thinking that we're going to get the Swift 2-0 by Pikarom here just because it's a more powerful, more consistent deck than our Hitmonchan brethren here. And that goes a long way, just playing a deck that works well every time, and they are going to probably just full voltage GX onto themselves because they see that I have started a bad hand, so they can say, you know what, so long as I don't actually do anything this next turn, they are going to be attacking. They don't need their abilities. They just are going to full voltage GX and load their dudes up here. They can't use the Tapu Koko Prism Star. They can't use any more Shamans or anything like that in order to set up more. So I do think that using the Zorora to set up would be a great strategy for them, especially if they were able to ditch a bunch of Lightnings. They do have 5 Lightning in the discard pile. That's perfect for a full voltage, which brings 5 Lightning out of the discard pile to their Pokemon. Sure enough, that's what we're going to see here. And if I don't top deck like a champion, it's just going to be game over. Handful of damage modifiers and nothing else. And what a sad game. They must have a switch in their hand or something like that because I don't see how they're getting into that other Pokemon there. Sure enough, just totally horrible deck. Oh, and the insult. You have a good deck. You have a good deck, sir. All right, let's see you do it. You got to switch in that hand because you can't retreat the Zorora. Even just a lightning energy in the hand will do it so that they can retreat and tag bolt my Wobbuffet. I do like that if they have a switch out, they can just tag bolt for game, which is cool because that means that even if I found one more Pokemon to bench or something like that, they would have been able to eliminate me from the game. And I think with Comp Search, there should just be no way that they don't just find the game-winning piece to pull this off, even if it's just energy switch and energy, right? Like, I think that's what they got. Yeah, energy switch. No, just the double retreat. That'll do it. So, yeah, thank you. Good game, sir. Full blitz to my lone Wobbuffet. All right, give me a good, exciting game with the Hitmonchan deck, all right? I want something good. I hate how they have to actually go attach that at it. It feels bad, man. I already lost. I got benched, all right? No more insult to injury. Let's run that Hitmonchan deck uno mas, guys. We'll see if we can please start a hand without a million versus seekers in it. I think this is the same dude. All right, rematch. Let's go. I played against this guy. Is this the guy I just played against like a couple games ago? Or, I don't know, I forget. I think it's the same dude. But we have a playable starting hand. We're going to win this one, Ash Ketchum. We got it. Another Pikarom matchup. So we're playing the Hitmonchan deck against 3 Pikaroms. We're going to see if we can't win one of those 3 games. I think that would be glorious, right? Oh my gosh. Okay, and we're going first. What more could I possibly want? Maybe for them not to start their Marshadow. How about that? They appear to start Marshadow very, very often. So we'll go get some things here. Probably just a nest ball. I want to be able to throw that Wobbuffet into the active. I have a Float Stone in my hand, so that's good. We'll do that, and then I guess I need to also start finding an energy somehow. That would be good. But either way, just getting that Wob into the active position, definitely a plus. So I'll worry about the energy later. I don't necessarily want to use my Comp Search right now unless I have to. Probably should Adventure Bag, but I'm going to withhold, I guess, my Adventure Bag one more turn to just see what my opponent does. I will probably end up wanting a Choice Band and a Float Stone, but I may want a Muscle Band and a Float Stone in order to hit into this Marshadow for more damage. That could just be a thing that we do. The most annoying thing about the Wobbuffet, in my opinion, is that it's not even a good lock, right? Tapu Lele still works under Woblock, and that's just kind of a feel bad. That means that Archie can use Lele to set up and do their turn 1, and sure enough, another turn 1 Lily for 7. Ash Ketchum, you have a good deck. Uh, Archie can still use Lele to set up that turn 1 Archies in the Archie deck. A lot of decks can still use Let Loose to disrupt you on the first turn of the game, which is also a feel bad. There's just a lot of very good psychic abilities that can be used under Bide Barricade. It doesn't actually stop a whole lot from working. It stops, sure, Zorak can't trade every turn, but I think that they could probably still find Guzmas, find Acerolas, things to get around the Wobbuffet for a turn. And if they ever break that Bide Barricade, which is super easy to break, all they really need is like Escape Rope, Guzma, any of that will do it. Then they could just play their deck as normal, and I'm sitting here with a 90 hit point Pokemon that's just poking for 30 damage every turn. And sure enough, yeah, it's a turn 1 full blitz under Woblock, right? This is why I'm just like, oh, I have such a hard time getting behind this deck. It's just not powerful enough, but we'll see what we could do. Okay, we've got Hitmonchan. We are going to go in. We just got to put our Believe hats on. We got a strong energy. That's fantastic. I just need to hit for a lot, okay? So we're going to be Korrina-ing here. I think we're going to Korrina. I think so. I mean, I could just comp search for another supporter, which would be good, honestly, because I am kind of over this Korrina business, though I think I might just do that next turn. We're going to hit this thing for a lot. So with Korrina, we can get ourselves a Choice Band guaranteed. I could also Counter Catcher, which would be cool, onto that benched one over there. I think I just want the Choice Band guaranteed, though. So we'll do that. Get Choice Band and just another Hitmonchan. If there's, yeah, something like that in the deck, that'd be good. All right, Sledgehammer, Buzzwole. That is the sauce. That's what we want. So we're going to go here, Hitmonchan, boom, and then I don't want to actually drop my Buzzwole yet because I feel like they would just KO it. So we're just going to retreat and do that. Hit and run, and I'm going to just hit and run into my Hitmonchan here. 200 damage, very close, but not quite there. Unfortunately, I am going to have to 2-hit KO this thing. The Sledgehammer turn will be good, though. I think that if they don't get themselves a full blitz this turn, which they should be, or a tag bolt this turn, then I can use the Sledgehammer. I do fully expect them to tag bolt this turn, though. They have Thunder Mountain that's stuck. They have their abilities that they can use because I don't have a Wobbuffet. I didn't really think it was super worth getting the Wobbuffet, so they surely want to take out this Hitmonchan here. Now, I have a decision to make. They have a Flash energy over there, so I am going to have a hard time. I can't really use Flash. I can't use the Enhanced Hammer and the Counter Catcher, but they actually just gave it to me. I can't believe they just gave it to me like that. I mean, I guess I can, right? Because they're just serving me up. All right, Ash Ketchum, you may have just played into my trap card. All right, and I'm sorry to say, but you definitely did. Okay, so we can go get ourselves an energy. I can Korrina. We're just gonna Korrina again. Okay, and with the Enhanced Hammer, we can just remove that pesky Flash energy from the situation. All right, we got it. Enhanced Hammer, and then probably another Pokemon like a Hitmonchan. That's good, so I don't get benched. And then we can use the Computer Search, and we're going to Computer Search away probably the Adventure Bag and the Guzma, I guess. Like, you see how sketchy this is. We are about to take 3 prizes, so that's good. But, you know, still just Sketch City over here. All right, we can knock it out with a basic energy, so we might as well take the basic energy. We're going to Enhanced Hammer away that thing and then just knock you out with the Sledgehammer Buzzwole that you knew I got off the Korrina. You knew the Sledgehammer was coming, my man. You knew he was in there. So weirdly enough, it was actually a better play for my opponent to knock out my Hitmonchan with the Float Stone instead of knocking out my one with the Choice Band, because if they knocked out the one with the Float Stone, then they would have made it a lot harder for me to pull that play off. I should have benched that Hitmonchan. I don't really know what I was doing there, but it's all good. Hitmonchan, sorry, Hitmonchan, we're going to miss you. And then they could just knock me out. If they knock me out with this Pikarom, we're in there, guys. We have the energy that we need to hit and run for our final prize. Even though we were able to win here, it doesn't feel good, right? Still feels bad. We did it. It's not not a bad matchup, especially if you could just sledgehammer a Buzzwole one time or a Pika round one time, you should just win. So we'll hit and run, and that's going to be it. Good game to my opponent, 50 damage there, only had to take 2 knockouts, and we took all our 6 prizes. So that's the way Hitmonchan is supposed to work, more or less. Very cool, but we did get to see kind of the ugly side of Hitmonchan as a deck as well. All in all, I think it's a super cool list. Definitely a ton of fun to play. If you're hitting the ladder, go ahead, try this deck out. It is a riot, and I've been able to take some very crazy wins off people with the hit and run strategy. As a regional play, I wouldn't really consider this deck as an option for myself. All in all, I think the Wobbuffet lock is a little bit too soft, and I think that the damage output on Hitmonchan is a little bit too low. Definitely a big meta call if you are going to play it. So this is the list. Big shout out again to Zach Lesage, finishing 2nd place at a cup with this deck. If you think the deck is better than I give it credit for, feel free to let me know in the comments below. And of course, as always, feel free to prove me wrong at the Toronto Regional Championships. Would absolutely love that. So thank you all so much for watching the video. Make sure to like the video, sub to the channel, ring that bell. Check out my Twitch channel. I'm streaming every single weekday, twitch.tv/TrickyGym. You could find the link on the little banner thing as well. I put like my Twitch and my YouTube and what am I even saying? I put my Twitch and my Instagram and my Twitter little links up on the banner thing on the YouTube channel front page. Anyways, I'm signing off. Hopefully you guys have a great day. Check out fullgripgames.com as well for all your TCG needs. Peace.